Hey there, Lisa here. Welcome to my channel. I hope you'll join me in my love of crafting and DIYs and hit that subscribe button. This video is part of the Love Corner collab, and just look at all these lovely ladies taking part in this. Playlist will be linked below, so be sure to check out everyone's videos. In full disclosure, I need to let you know that we are moving to another state, and we have been crazy busy, and so I have pulled some oldies but goodies so that I was able to participate in this collab. Hope you enjoy. For DIY number 1, you'll need one of these hearts that you can pick up at your local Dollar Tree, and we are going to leave it the way it is, and we are just going to work on the back side. I just love having double-sided decor. Once I got it all unwrapped, I am taking off the hanger, and I'm just going to set this aside, as I will then be adding it back on once we finish creating this side of the heart. So to start the process, I took some antique wax, and I initially started applying it with a paper towel, and I quickly realized that this wood just really soaks this up, and this process was going to take forever. So I switched to a baby wipe, and I take and just pour it on. Just pour the antique wax on, and then I apply it with a baby wipe. It thins it out a little and makes it spread much easier. While that heart was drying, I took this piece of decor that you can also pick up from the Dollar Tree, and I am just basically tracing it. I just want the shape of the heart. This just happened to be about the right size to fit in that large one, and so I just take a Sharpie and I just trace half of it, and then I am folding it over, and I am going to cut this out so that I have a burlap heart. And I apologize, I keep going off frame here, but basically I'm just folding it and then cutting out the heart shape. I then take some white acrylic paint and just place it on a piece of paper, and then with a chippy brush, I apply the paint to the heart in quick, light strokes. Once I had as much white paint applied as I liked, I took the burlap heart, which off camera I did run an iron over, as it was pretty wrinkled. And then I am just taking and applying hot glue and gluing this down with the hot glue. Now I am doing like really thin lines of the hot glue, as I don't want big globs, as they will show through the burlap. I can't tie a nice bow to save my life, so I am all about the messy bows. So that is what I am doing here. I am taking this ribbon and I am cutting 3 lengths of this particular ribbon, and then I'm going to cut 2 lengths of this thicker brown ribbon. I then take and just lay out in like a star pattern the pieces of ribbon, just sort of at random, and then I take a small piece of twine and loop it underneath all of the ribbons that I have laid out, and then I just simply tie it in several tight knots. Then I cut off the excess twine so that it doesn't show. Using the hot glue gun, I just take and glue the bow to the top of the heart. And lastly, I take and hot glue one of the burlap roses to the center. I reattach the hanger, and this super simple DIY is done. DIY number 2. The first thing I did was take all the tags off of everything. These are those microfiber mop pads, and then this is a decor piece I picked up at the Dollar Tree, and I was just after the form, so I took all of this off. It was kind of fun. They were looped around the pegs. Anyways, I kind of enjoyed it. And then once I had all of that off, I glued the mop pads to it. I really thought I was going to be able to get this done with 2 mop pads, but it ended up taking exactly 3. And so I just glued it as tight as I could to the form, lots of hot glue, lots of pulling, just so that I could get it as tight as I could to keep that heart shape. And then the third one almost didn't fit. It was so close. I'm telling you, it was almost an exact fit for 3 mop pads. I took 4x4 pieces of burlap and put Mod Podge on them. I sort of just dipped it in and then just brushed it on. I think I may have applied a little bit more than I needed. but I got those applied and then I just let them dry. And then I cut out a flower looking shape. Most of the tutorials I see on these, they do 6 petals, but for some reason I was thinking 5, but it ended up working okay. And then I took my template I had made and cut out, you need 3 for each rose, so I ended up cutting out 9 because I did 3 roses. I had never done these burlap roses before, so I did Google it and looked at a couple of tutorials. One of them was the Mama's Girls, and the other one was on YouTube, Just That Perfect Piece. All right, so I cut 9 because I'm doing 3 roses, but for each rose you will need 3 of these. And for the first one, you take and you cut off half of one petal, and then you cut down into the center so that you're able to fold it and glue it behind. And then on the next flower, you take and go down to the center and take a whole petal, as well as a half a petal like you did on the first one. Again, this is so that you can fold it. And then on the third flower, you take, I'm trying to remember how to do it here. You take and go down to the center and take 2 petals, and then you take the half, like we did on the others, of the third. So you will end up with like this heart looking thing. And so then you're gonna add some scallops in it so that you have 4 what are going to be petals. And then with the other one that you took the whole petal, you're gonna just add a scallop so that you have 2 petals. And so then you will have your 5 pieces. So I started with the biggest one, and you just glue it. So you glue that piece you cut around behind, so that it starts to take that flower shape. And then you glue your next one and your next one, so you will end up gluing all 3 of the flower shapes that you cut, and then you will do the little pieces that you scalloped and cut. So you will glue the larger one, and the smaller the pieces get, the harder it is to glue, but it works out. So then you will glue the smaller one, and as you can see, I'm having just a little bit of problems with it, this teeny tiny one. And then once you get them all glued, it's time to assemble the rose and glue it all together. So I started with the very center of the rose and did the smallest piece in that one, and then I worked backwards and started with the biggest one and glued the medium-sized one in there. Mine ended up a little bit tall, so I did cut off the end just so that it sat further down inside. Again, this is my first time ever doing these, but it's amazing how imperfect you are when you're making it and how beautiful they turn out. With that Mod Podge, they're easy to shape and they just really turn out pretty. And so then I did the same here. I did cut off the third one, glued it down inside too. And then once I had all that set, I glued in the middle I had created with the 2 leftover pieces. And then I took all 3 roses I had created and I glued them to my fluffy heart. And that's it for DIY number 3. And so first I took some of those limbs that have been laying around and just cut them all to size. And then I took the 3 roses and cut them down to the same size as the sticks, just a little bit larger because you want the roses to stick up over the edge. And then I just took them all together and tied them together with a rubber band. I first tried doing it with twine, but I couldn't get it tight enough. So I did 1 piece of twine and then I did a rubber band. And let's see, there I am doing the rubber band. And then I went back around it with twine and just wrapped and wrapped and wrapped until I liked the look of it. And then I just simply tied a knot on the front. My son is helping. You'll see his little hands in the videos quite a bit. And then I ended up having to go back and cut those shorter. And so this is me sticking the flowers back in after I had to go dip and cut all the branches shorter. And here is a look at our rose themed Valentine's Day decor, all very neutral colors. I'd love to hear which one is your favorite. If you think you'll ever recreate these, I just love to read comments, so be sure to leave me a comment. I appreciate you guys taking the time to join me today, and I hope that you like these oldies but goodies. Until the next time, I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.